All right, the stoke is high right now because I'm getting ready to go ride the brand new redesigned Polygon Siskiu T8. The weather's a little bit wet, so we'll see how the trails are. I'm heading out to a brand new jump line by my house, so I'm definitely gonna test this bike on the way downhill, hitting some jumps. I'm gonna test it on the way uphill. This is just gonna be my initial impressions, a lot deeper ride and review videos coming up with this new Siskiu T8. I've already rode the base model T6, and now it's time to test out the T8 in my search for that perfect bike. That bike that hits the sweet spot, right? You know, like not too cheap, not too expensive, right there in the middle, that just right trail bike. So if you guys have been interested in the Siskiu, you guys are definitely gonna like this video. If you guys just wanna look at a brand new trail bike for 2025 that I think you should be excited about, then definitely watch till the end of this video. You're not gonna wanna miss this one. All right, so I'm right by the trail right now, and I wanted to park here closer, but there's just like no parking signs all along this road, and it's just not worth it. I'm not trying to get a ticket or get my truck towed or anything, so we'll park a little bit further and we'll pedal on the road just a little bit to get there. By the way, my name is Jared Hoff. I've been riding and reviewing these type of mountain bikes for years. I'm talking about full suspension bikes with about 130 to 150 millimeters of suspension travel. And these are the type of mountain bikes I think that 90 to 95% of us riders should really be looking at. The type of bike that'll handle just about any trail on your local mountain, and you know, actually more advanced trails as well, but the type of bike where you're never really gonna feel like too underbiked or too overbiked. The bike that falls really into that sweet spot. So we're gonna go over this Siskiu T8. I'll start with a brief overview of all the kind of components, just a quick overview showing you like why I was so stoked to ride this bike and check it out. Then we'll get out there on the trails and we'll take this bike for that pedal. We'll see how it rides, how it performs, and let you know if there's anything that I need to change on this bike to really hit that sweet spot and be that perfect Goldilocks bike. That thing set up right there, it's kind of looking good. I could even almost like use this shot right here as a thumbnail, like check this out, or I don't know, insert some text right up there. We'll see if I use this one. So real quick, if it's gonna fit into that category of being the perfect bike, there's a couple things that it has to have. So it has to have modern geo. This is that newly updated frame. It's got, you know, 0.5 degrees slacker head tube angle, 0.5 degrees steeper seat tube angle. They've really cleaned up everything on this bike, everything from the cable ports, the cable routing, just the overall design, integrated tool mount right up there on the top. Just the entire frame has been completely overhauled. Same, you know, linkage driven single pivot, tried and true, trusted like design that I've loved in the past. And then in the back, they've just kind of like beefed up the chain stays, made it just a little bit stiffer, cleaned up the cable routing that comes out of the chain stays. And then this is now UDH, so universal derailleur hanger right there, which is gonna make it easier to service this bike. If you ever break a derailleur hanger, way easier to get. And you could also upgrade to a SRAM transmission drivetrain, which is something that could be important to a lot of you guys. But I think the drivetrain that came on this bike is actually as good as you would need and really fits into that kind of Goldilocks zone. So let's go over the components real quick on this bike. So it does have some kind of stock components like the, what is this? Fitzek saddle. Looks okay, we'll see how that rides. And it's got just kind of like some in-house, you know, Polygon parts on it, in-house like bar stem combo that look okay. Grips, you know, might have to upgrade those, we'll see. But this definitely got a lot of other components on it, like this suspension right here, the Fox 34 rhythm fork up front, 140 millimeters of travel, got that grip damper, so it's got the easy lockout. So definitely a fork that falls right into that mid-range, not too cheap, not too expensive, kind of like that just right range. We'll see if 34 millimeter stanchions, we'll see if that's flexing a little bit too much as I start to push my speed a little bit more on this bike. In the back, the rear shock, you got the Fox Float X rear shock, so plenty of volume, 135 millimeters of travel in the rear on this size extra large, so should be fine for most of the riding I do. I do like to have a shock with the piggyback if I can, but we'll see how this shock performs out there. Now the drivetrain on this bike, so it's got the Dior crankset, which actually is pretty sleek, pretty good looking crankset. This is the base model, but then when you move to the back, you can see it's got SLX derailleur, so SLX shifting in the back, and SLX cassette, which is gonna be money for shifting with that SLX cassette, that SLX derailleur, with that chain on there as well, that Shimano XT chain, I think that's what that is. Check me in the comments. Is that an XT chain? How do you tell on this easily? I don't know. Anyways, moving up to the shifter, you got the SLX shifter as well, so should get super crisp shifting. Now, once I get up to speed, you got the Shimano M4100 levers, so not the sleekest looking lever, but should provide plenty of power, especially when you pair that with those 4-piston brake calipers right there on the front with 180 rotors, and it's got 4-piston in the back. It's okay. Dog came over to say hi. 4-piston in the back with 180 rotors on the back as well. So good suspension, good drivetrain, good brakes. That's amazing. But the thing I was most excited that they changed on this bike, besides completely overhauling that frame, is the wheels. The wheels they're putting on these Polygon bikes now, the wheel and the tire combo. So the wheels in the past were a super heavy Inity wheel with like a 35mm internal width. So really wide, really heavy wheel set Polygon used to use, and I always complained about that. Now they got their new in-house rim. It's got like, I think like a 29mm internal width, a lot lighter, and they pair that with these Maxxis Dissector tires, the 3C Max Terra EXO Plus casing on there. So super fast rolling tires, much lighter rims and wheels all together. Oh, Shimano hubs on there as well. There's a Shimano logo. There it goes. So good hubs with decent engagement, so that should make this bike perform a lot better. That's just a brief overview of the components. Like I said, I'll go a little bit deeper in future videos. Let's get this bike out on the trail and start pedaling. Okay, it's never a good sign when you're the only mountain biker parked in a, well, not really a trailhead, but near the trails. That means that most people probably park in a different spot to ride these trails. Like I said, I was trying to get straight to the jump line, so we'll see. You got to pedal on this road for just a little bit, and then we'll see how this turns out. All right, crossing the road. Ooh, shifting's just a little bit off. Try and wind that barrel adjuster. Uh-oh. So this is straight out of the box, you guys. Straight out of the box, so definitely didn't like tune this bike up or anything. There we go. I think I adjusted it with the barrel adjuster, but if the shifting or anything is a little bit off on this bike, then I'll definitely have to make those adjustments before I take it on its next ride. So we are right here. We're gonna veer left, head all the way over to this black line right there. That's gonna be that downhill jump line we're talking about. All right, let's drop in. So riding this entire trail blind, never rode this trail before. I follow a guy, Sploosh MTB on YouTube, and he reviews the trails around here in Maryland, and he was talking about this new jump line. So I definitely wanted to check it out. Just made it up to the top of that climb, realized I didn't have the stability on, and I didn't have it in the wide angle POV needed for that chesty shot when I'm riding. Boom, there we go. That's a much better point of view. Capture every little bit of that bars and that trail out in front of me. It's okay though, you know, I'll get to climb up this again, and then I'll get to talk with you guys about what I was feeling right there on that climb. So first of all, like right off the line, you can feel just how fast rolling and efficient this bike is with that new wheel setup that's a lot lighter, and those Dissector tires front and rear that offer you really good rolling speed. Man, this bike is just fast off the line. Let me come to a stop and I'll show you what I'm talking about real quick. So coming all the way down to a stop, and keep in mind, these trails are a little bit muddy today, so could be slipping a little bit, but let's get into that gear, that pedaling gear. Okay, right off the line, you can see from a stop, just putting the pedals in and immediately just getting up to speed, like with ease on this bike. Woo, sliding, too much speed. But yeah, that's what I was feeling on the way up the first time. was just how fast and efficient this bike was. Let's get to this little punchy climb section right here, and I'll talk about how the geometry, how the whole bike feels on the way uphill. Okay, so a little bit of rolling terrain here on this trail. Kind of get these little punchy climbs followed by these little short descents. And the steep seat tube angle has me right up over the pedals, able to easily put down that power, super comfortable. That saddle, the saddle is actually feeling pretty dang comfortable for being a stock saddle. I don't know if I'm ever even gonna have to change that. The shifting, really good, crisp shifting. That's under load right there. As I'm slamming in power, and the Shimano shifting just crunches through those gears. Actually, no crunching, smoothly shifts through those gears, should I say, with ease. So definitely on the way uphill, the bike is performing amazing. Now let me show you one thing, one surprise I found at the top of this trail right here. Annapolis, Maryland, Trail Works. Like, are you kidding me right now? Let me show you this trail. So, some of the best freaking trail signage ever. Like, check out this trail sign right here. Look at the craftsmanship, the flow trail. Got this, I guess it's crab trail or something, I don't know, a little anchor with the crab all roped in. Super stylish. I love that, man. This is the Annapolis Flow Trail. Not only does that help me find the trail I'm looking for, but man, just a pride and ownership they put in these trails. So Annapolis Trail Works, like, good freaking job on you. And then they got this Park Tools stand right here with all the tools you would need to fix on your bike, just in case you forgot something. Let's talk real quick though about how this bike performed on the uphill, and then we'll get to smashing on the downhill. So I think I said just about everything on the way uphill. The suspension felt super supportive and giving me that good small bump compliance when I want to gain extra traction over those bumpy kind of sections of the trail. The cockpit, like the whole setup, really felt pretty dialed. And right now, I think I'm just excited to get this thing and start pointing it back downhill and hit this flow trail right here, which is exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna head down this trail, little green section, into that black section and hit some of those jumps blind for the very first time, all by myself. We'll see how this goes down. We got this T8, we got this. Lots of gear you gotta carry when you're filming all these videos solo. All right, let's get down into that party gear. Drop that dropper post down, get it out of the way. This is where I get excited to ride a bike, you know? There we go. Black Diamond Trail, no compromises. Great trail signage once again. Woo! Yeah, there we go. Oh man. All right. A little loose right there. One little crash. I don't know if you can see that, but the pedal's bent right there. I bent it just on that one little set down, so it was like, I hope it didn't ruin the threads. Shit, hopefully it didn't ruin those cranks. So this whole portion of the trail right here was looking so nice and like dry enough, like almost hero dirt, that it made me want to go ahead and send the rest of it. But then I realized landing on a couple of those jumps and definitely around those corners, it was just a little bit too wet today to be out here riding on a brand new trail like that. So yeah, Trail Works Annapolis, hit me up next time you guys are doing trail work. I'll come out and help you fix any of those little ruts that might have got put in the trail for me today. But all in all, super fun trail. Can't wait to come back and ride it. Now I gotta get back to the truck, see what's up with this bent pedal, like bent my pedal somehow, and yeah, talk about the rest of this bike and how it performed. All right, excitement never ends when you're out here filming YouTube videos. I think maybe I rushed putting the bike together and didn't tighten the pedals enough, and you know, they came loose a little bit when I was riding right there. So then when I crashed, the threads were already a little bit loose, so then when I put weight into that pedal, it wedged it sideways. The pedal's stuck in there pretty good right now, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get the pedal back off, but let's start driving, get some of this cold air bumping on my hot ass face, and talk about how that bike performed on the way downhill. Okay, so on the way home, how did the bike feel? I can tell you right now, it was definitely ticking a lot of those boxes for that kind of Goldilocks zone, that one bike that really fits right there in the middle, the type of bike that can handle just about any trail that you want to ride. So on the way downhill right there, the trail got a little bit wetter than I would have liked to. So I couldn't really handle the corners that fast to see really how the bike was cornering. It was getting a little bit slick, and I did have that crash there at the end, so my ride got cut a little bit short, but I still feel like I got enough out of this bike to be able to tell you that, you know, it definitely has me interested in wanting to ride it and review it a little bit more, take it on a couple deeper rides, really push the limits and see what this bike can handle. Now I can tell you the suspension felt super plush when I needed it to. I landed a little bit deep on a jump and it soaked that up like nothing, yet it was still super planted and, like, you know, supportive in the mid stroke. That's one thing with like cheaper suspension. When the suspension is too cheap, you'll find yourself blowing right through that travel, which can leave you kind of feeling like you're getting thrown around on the bike, and it can really take away your confidence. Did not feel like that, felt super planted even when I was sending it deep on that jump. Now when I got up to speed and I would hit that little bit of chatter, the suspension still felt like nice and plush off the top, so it was soaking up that high-speed chatter, which is exactly what you want. The tires, super fast rolling tires for like all around pedaling and uphill, but I'm kind of wondering if I had just a little bit more meat on that front tire, maybe like a DHR2 or something like that, something when, you know, just a little bit more meat, a little bit, maybe even just a little bit wider front tire, if that would have helped me grip and not slip out right there. But overall, on the way downhill, I was really pleased with the way this bike handled, the way this bike rides. If you guys want to know more about this bike, you guys want to see more videos I'm making in the future, now's a good time. Definitely subscribe to the channel and share this with a friend. Share my channel with any friends that are kind of looking for that perfect trail bike as well. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm trying to bring you guys more valuable content. So if there's anything else you guys want to know, now's a good time. Drop a comment and let me know. I got links down there in the video description. There are some affiliate links, so it doesn't cost you anything if you use them, but it gets you right to the bike and some of the parts and components that I use. So if you guys want to check those out, using those links is the easiest way to get to that, and it helps me continue to make more videos like this. So thank you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Definitely got a lot more riding to do on the T8, but for right now, I'd say it's got me excited. This just could be that perfect Goldilocks trail bike. See you guys in the next one.